Good evening, everyone. Just as a heads up, we're going to start about 7 minutes late this evening to make sure that we've got 24 hours notice since the agenda went out. So hang tight for a few more minutes, and we'll get started in about 5 or 6 minutes. Thanks. You can look at the sweet baby in the meantime.
Birthday.
All right, with that, we will call to order the Orleans Parish School Board Business Meeting for December 12th, 2024. The time is now 5:39. May I have a roll call?
Ms. Boatwin.
Present.
Ms. Eames. Mr. Ashley.
Present.
Dr. Batiste.
Present.
Mr. Marshall. Mr. Parker.
Present.
Mr. Zervagon.
Present.
Also present, Dr. Fatima Fulmore, Interim Superintendent, Ms. Ashley Halpern, Board Counsel. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Interpretation services are available during this evening's meeting, and I will yield to our interpreters to introduce themselves.
Thank you, President Baldwin. I'm sorry. Good evening, board members. Good evening, Dr. Fulmore, and good evening, members of community. My name is Việt Quỳnh Pham. I will provide interpretation services in Vietnamese. Xin chào toàn thể quý vị. Tôi là Việt Quỳnh. Tôi là thông dịch viên. Tôi sẽ thông dịch cho quý vị ở buổi họp này. Nếu quý vị cần, xin quý vị cho tôi biết. Xin chân thành cảm ơn.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Fulmore, members of the community. My name is Tanya Vignot, and I'll be your Spanish interpreter for today. Buenas noches, mi nombre es Tanya Vignot, seré su intérprete de español de hoy. Por favor, hágame saber si necesita un aparato de interpretación. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. We'll move on now to the Pledge of Allegiance. Would all who are willing and able please stand and cite the pledge? State the pledge. Thank you. I will now turn it over to our board counsel to take us through the rules for public comment.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak with regard to items on the agenda should fill out a public comment card and submit it to the board secretary. Cards will be received up to 1/2 hour after the meeting begins. Each person shall be permitted to speak up to 2 minutes as established by the chair. I will recognize the speaker and give the speaker permission to proceed. The speaker shall state their name and address for the board record. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson from the group to address the concern. Speakers are expected to be as concise as possible and to present their questions and comments in an objective manner in accordance with good taste and decorum and without reference to or insinuations against the board, its members, or school system employees. Disruptions or disorderly conduct at the business meeting will constitute grounds for the presiding officer to ask security personnel to remove the offender. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any additions, deletions, or modifications to this evening's agenda?
Yes, we have one modification and one addition. So, action item 5.8, closing school priority for Noble Minds Institute for the Whole Child Learning and International High School of New Orleans, will be added to the agenda. And then action item 4.2, which is currently on the consent agenda, that is an amendment to OPSB policy BBBB, new member orientation, will be removed from the consent and taken up after action item 5.8.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zervagon and seconded by Dr. Batiste. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is adopted. I will turn it back over to you for adoption of the minutes, Board Counsel.
It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 public hearing, 2024 charter request for application, and November 14th, 2024 board business meeting. May I have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
So move, waiving the reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Parker and seconded by President Baldwin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the superintendent's agenda, and I will yield to Dr. Fulmore to hear from her this evening.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, NOLA Public Schools family in the greater New Orleans community. This is my first board business meeting in the role, so I would like to begin by thanking the board for selecting me to serve as interim superintendent. I'm really excited and humbled by the opportunity to do so, and I just look forward to our continued work together as we move the district forward. Each month, We like to recognize our employees who are committed to our district's vision and work hard to help our schools and scholars succeed year in and year out. Please direct your attention to the screens to see this month's years of service. Congratulations to Holly Parker for her 5 years of service as an ECS program specialist in the EC department, and Dwight Duplessis for his 10 years of service as the Director of Grant Compliance in the Finance Department. Thank you both for all you do. Each month, we take pride in celebrating an employee who goes above and beyond, embodying the commitment and excellence that inspires us all. This month, we honor Alice McDaniel, Director of School Support Operations, who exemplifies these qualities through her proactive leadership under pressure and alignment with NOLA PS values. A visionary thinker, Alice begins with the end in mind, approaching challenges with strategic insight and patience. As a self-starter, she sets ambitious goals, embraces stretch opportunities, and utilizes resources like Udemy and continuously enhances her skills. Alice thrives with minimal supervision, skillfully managing upward and laterally while fostering collaboration. Dr. Kelly Jordan, Chief of School Support and Improvement, says, above all, her kindness, thoughtfulness, and honesty make her an irreplaceable member of our team, a true rock star, a team player, and my personal rock. Alice's unwavering dedication and exceptional contributions make her more than deserving of this recognition. Please help me congratulate the December 2024 AIM for Excellence Award recipient, Alice McDaniel. She couldn't be here with us tonight, but we do want to acknowledge her in this recognition. At this time, I want to thank the Special Olympics Louisiana. I'm sorry, let me back up some, because I want to first call you up to the podium. I would like to invite the team from Special Olympics Louisiana to the podium for a special presentation. Will you come?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you guys so much at NOLA Public Schools for your continued support for Special Olympics Louisiana. We are so happy to continue this partnership, and we really look forward to fostering inclusion in our schools in the New Orleans area. So just a big thank you from everyone at Special Olympics.
At this time, we will join the Special Olympics team at the come down for the check presentation of Special Olympics. I'm sorry. While you're coming down, I want to thank the Special Olympics because this generous grant will fund our 5th annual District Fitness Challenge in spring 2025 in honor of Dr. Rosalind B. Dennis, promoting inclusivity, physical health, and leadership among our K-12 students across various schools. Additionally, the grant will support Young Athletes Program Fall 2025 aimed at children aged 2 through 7. This program will introduce our youngest learners to sports, fostering teamwork and essential skills through fun, inclusive activities. This support from Special Olympics Louisiana underscores their commitment to inclusive education and community building through sports. We are excited about these initiatives and look forward to seeing their impact on our students and community. I personally have experienced Special Olympics with our students and greatly appreciate your partnership, and thank you. At this time, we will come down for the presentation. Thank you.
guys are going to have to step up. Got more of us to take care of. Yeah, girl.
All right. I'm proud to continue the work of ensuring our students succeed academically and would like to highlight the 2023-2024 school performance scores released by the Louisiana Department of Education. These results reflect the hard work of our educators, students, and families. I'd like to thank our charter management organization leaders for their dedication to improving student outcomes. Your efforts have driven meaningful progress, and it shows. Our district received its highest performance of SPS scores in the history of the current SPS model. NOLA PS increased its district performance score by over 4 points, our highest gain yet, placing us among the top 10 systems in the state for growth. We've made, oh yes, let's go ahead and give that a round of applause. We've maintained a C letter grade, now just 1 point shy of a B, and I believe we are going to break through to that B. 90% of our traditional charter schools earn progress letter grades of A or B, 86% including alternative schools. This is a testament to our students' year-over-year growth. This does not include our alternative schools. For the 2024-25 school year, we don't have any schools with an FSPS letter grade, and that is to be applauded as well. This progress is proof of what we can achieve while there's more While there's more to do, I am confident in our collective ability to ensure every child's success. Thank you for everyone's hard work, and let's keep building on this momentum. This slide shows we are demonstrating steady growth, closing the gap in comparison with the statewide performance score. This slide shows that we rank second among peer districts in district performance growth score. Now you will see 16 schools achieved an A or B SPS grade. Benjamin Franklin High School, the Willow School, Lake Forest Elementary Charter School, Edward Hines Charter School, Lakeview, Etna Carr High School, and Audubon Charter School all received a grade letter of A. Frederick Douglass High School, McDonough 35 Senior High School, Alice Hart Elementary Charter School, Eleanor McMain Secondary School, Warren Easton Charter High School, G.W. Carver High School, Sophie B. Wright Institute of Academic Excellence, Success at Thurgood Marshall, the Net Gentili, and the Net Central City all received a letter grade of B. Additionally, 26 schools improved by 1 to 5 points, including one of our alternative schools. 22 schools, including one alternative school, improved 5 or more points. This next slide shows our district performance score comparing our district statewide by student groups. We exceed or are comparable to statewide performance by student groups. However, there are opportunities for growth for our most vulnerable students. Our hard work is evident when it comes to progressing students. However, this next chart shows that opportunities exist for supporting all of our students. This next slide shows our historical English language proficiency test results. The district has shown positive trends over time, and the ELP Progress Index letter grade shows that we're not yet where we want to be, but we're so much further from where we've been with performance. Several schools have been recognized for their outstanding impact on student growth and helping historically disadvantaged students excel. 20 NOLA Public schools received Top Gains honoree recognition. A school is designated as Top Gain if the Progress Index is 90 or higher and they are not in urgent intervention required for any reason. Our Top Gain honoree schools are Arthur Ashe Charter School, Audubon Charter Gentilly, Audubon Charter School, Benjamin Franklin Elementary Math and Science, Benjamin Franklin High School, Dwight Eisenhower Charter School, Edward Hines Charter School Lakeview, Eleanor McMain Secondary School, Frederick Douglass High School, G.W. Carver High School, Lake Forest Elementary Charter School, Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary Charter School, Langston Hughes Charter Academy, McDonough 35 Senior High School, Renew Dolores T. Aaron Elementary, Renew Laurel Elementary, Renew Schaumburg Elementary, Samuel J. Green Charter School, the Willow School, and Walter L. Cohen High School. Yep. 6 of our schools were named Opportunity Honorees. Opportunity Honorees perform in the 90th percentile or above for students with disabilities, economically disadvantaged students, or English learners, and do not earn any urgent intervention required labels for student groups or discipline. Opportunity honorees are Benjamin Franklin High School, Etna Carr High School, Lake Forest Elementary Charter School, Renew Schaumburg Elementary, the Willow School, and Travis Hill School, which is alternative. Now, I want to take an opportunity to highlight some school visits from this semester, what I call excellence in action, and I'm going to highlight a few that I had the opportunity to engage with. I'm going to talk about Walter L. Cohen, Warren Easton, Ben Franklin, Eleanor McMain, McDonough 35, Etna Carr, the Willow School, Sci High, Young Audiences at Crocker, and the Leah Chase School. So at Walter L. Cohen, I spent time with Collegiate Academy CEO Jarrell Bryant and Principal Samara Levy, observing their coaching and feedback model in action, and it is really, really intense. It felt like I was in a law interrogation. Collegiate Academies has a very intentional focus on the growth of students and staff, and that is evident in how they push students to the edge of their genius and challenge leaders and teachers to level up their approaches to learning and coaching. I spent time with Assistant Principal Jackson at Warren Easton, where I observed her teaching a mini lesson of the book, The Lottery. This was a really, really good book. I don't remember reading it, but I was all the way in. And students were deep in discussion and focusing on citing evidence from the text. We enjoyed a piano lesson and music class and engaged with students during hall duty. So yes, while I was there, I was assigned a post during hall duty, and I had a great time engaging with students. I had so much fun and want to thank CEO Mervyn Jackson for having me. At Ben Franklin, I observed Socratic seminars in action. Socratic seminars are a form of dialogue-based learning that centers on asking and answering questions that stimulate critical thinking and in-depth discussion. I got to judge a statistics competition, which made all of my brain cells hurt. And I just want to thank CEO Alex Jarrell for a really, really great visit. Still on this slide, highlights the half day I spent visiting Inspire NOLA high schools. I want to shout out CEO Jamar McNeely, Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Lewis, for just a day full of intense classroom visits. I spent time in 9th grade classrooms with Dr. Moore at McMain, 9th grade classrooms with Dr. Moore at McDonough 35, and I went in just about every classroom in Etna Carr with Principal Dr. Washington. I learned about their network's GEM focus, GEM, on grade level engagement and modeling and cluster meetings where teachers hone their practice, and it was really great to see it in action. Very, very student-centered and student voice and hands-on learning happening across those classrooms. Next, I had a real treat on the next slide at the Willow School, where I spent my time immersed in their arts programs, exploring their incredible maker spaces and counseling service for students. They have truly built an experience at the Willow School that speaks to the whole child. And while I was in those maker spaces, I got to preview some competitive robots that I was not allowed to take pictures of them because they didn't want the competition to see what they were building. But I mean, the competition better be ready because those robots were absolutely amazing. And so shout out to CEO Nicolette London and her team for having me and showing me a great time. Also on the slide, I had a blast at Sci-High with CEO Dr. Cola. And this was interesting. This was like visiting an episode of Grey's Anatomy. The professional grade equipment students are learning from is just fantastic. I observed a couple of animal dissections, which made me nervous. I checked out their robots being built for the competition, and I did not share any details of what I observed. And it was really super cool, and I love the emphasis placed on hands-on learning at Sci-High. My visit to young audiences at Crocker was so much fun with CEO Ricky and CAO Breon Marcel. Students were highly engaged in a STEM Bowl hosted through a partnership with Ochsner in the Super Bowl. I visited arts, dance, and music classes where students promised to teach me how to play the flute, so I have a return visit for flute lessons. And I observed personalized learning through a partnership that YACS has with Tulane University. And last but not least, I visited the Leah Chase School where I observed enrichment learning in action, where students were able to were able to show me their procedural fluency in math. Students were eager to show me how to multiply because apparently I forgot my multiplication and they had to tell me all over again. And one student even showed me some tips on how to never forget my multiplication. I just want to echo that great things are happening across our district and in our classrooms, and I just enjoy highlighting the work of our schools. Next, I'm going to provide an update on restate the work that's happening with our system-wide needs program. On Tuesday, we highlighted some of the work we're doing with system-wide needs, and this is a unique funding tool aligned to our NOLA PS Evolve Strategic Plan of Action, particularly Goal 3.0, and it generates about $4 million annually. Our talent pipeline and specialized programming are the focus areas for round 2. So I just want to take a minute to highlight some of the results that we are seeing in this work. On the next slide, you will see that we are halfway through round 2 and have already exceeded the impact target for schools, with 83% of schools having benefited from system-wide needs funded program. The number of schools accessing system-wide needs specialized programming has increased by 91%. So 22 schools in 23-24 to 42 schools in 24-25, with an additional increase expected by the end of the year. You will see on our next slide that our talent pipeline program providers recruit and train teachers, then work with school leaders to place them in schools. 161 teachers have been recruited, trained, and placed in New Orleans public schools since fall 2023. 4 new partnerships have been developed to further our talent pipeline efforts, and System-Wide Needs program has supported high-wage, high-demand college and career services that yield industry-based certifications at NLCC. NLCC enrollment has increased by 54% from fall 2023 to fall 2024. And right now, 81% of our high schools have enrolled students at NLCC. And lastly, all schools enroll in 7th and 8th grade students have access to middle school restorative practices program at the Bridge. 100% performance measures for the 23-24 school year have been met. Only 1 student has ever been re-expelled after attending the Bridge since its opening in 2019, and we attribute that to the great work happening at the Bridge and all of the supports offered from our schools and staff. Now, as a quick reminder, NOLA PS is accepting applications for the 2025-26 school year through our NCAP. which runs until January 25th. So if you have not yet completed your application, you still have time, and you can explore our schools on our website, nolapublicschools.com, and enroll at enrollnolaps.com, where you can also check out requirements for special admission schools. Now, I want to take an opportunity to do some special recognitions for our beloved and departing board members. On behalf of NOLA PS, I'd like to thank two of our board members for their outstanding service as they prepare to depart from our school board. We have two brief videos that we will share before I hand it over to President Bodwin for a special presentation. There we go. And now we'll watch our video for Dr. Batiste. At this time, I'll hand it over to Board President Ms. Bowman for a special presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Fulmore. Yes, it is. It is our last board meeting for one of our longest serving and our shortest serving board member. And it's been a pleasure to work with both of you. Dr. Batiste, you are our newest member, but you came in with so much experience and such a willingness to teach and also to learn, which is definitely your way when you came. I've learned so much from you about education and about supporting teachers and about supporting families. And I've really appreciated the level of decorum that you have brought to this board. It's truly been an honor serving with you. And I think the fact that you came back to serve in years when you could be doing literally anything else is truly, it's an honor to serve with you, and it's a testament to yourself and how much you care for the city of New Orleans and its people. So thank you very much for your participation and your being here. I'm going to talk about Ethan, unless people want to, should we do one? Okay, great. All right. Ethan. I have also learned so much from you, and I think the video really showed some of the highlights. I think the way you snapped into action after COVID and really figured things out at a time when many other public bodies and private bodies couldn't do that. You made the difference for our students. You can see it in the data, especially when you look at New Orleans compared with others. Our students really didn't miss a step, and that's because you fearlessly jumped into action and led your board to get there as well. And so as a parent, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to that. You have also brought a system improvement bent to this board, which I so much appreciate. Even today in your last meeting, you've improved a policy that will make our board better. It will make our new members be able to come up to speed faster and give some guidance to future presidents. And that system approach is so important to be able to have that long view. You've never encountered a problem and not thought, not just how do I solve it now, but how do we avoid it in the future, or how do we be better prepared for it in the future? And I'm really grateful to you for that. Everybody knows public service comes at a sacrifice, and you've been building a family, building a business over the last 8 years, and you've still shown up for us, for your colleagues, for this city, for our superintendents that you've served with, and we're very grateful to you, and we're going to miss you a lot. Colleagues? Mr. Parker?
Thank you very much, President Budwin. I, like you, will start with you, Dr. Batiste, so you can get it over with. I know you probably don't like this. But I really, you came to us as a former Principal of the Year for the state of Louisiana, a longtime district employee, a former superintendent, and that knowledge has really been invaluable to this body. You helped us to improve the way that we evaluate our one employee and evaluate the performance of the central office, because you've sat in the seat, and you know what that should look like, and sometimes more importantly, what that should not look like. You have a clear perspective on the role of the board versus the role of the superintendent, and it is your way to only get involved to watch and learn, and to only get involved when it is necessary. And when the board steps out of line, you do a good job of gently reminding us, very often me, what our role is and how we should comport ourselves. And that is a real asset to anybody. One of the things that I have enjoyed the most in working with you is your continual focus on raising the bar for our schools and for our students, specifically our work together on the Charter School Accountability Framework and making sure that we are holding our schools to higher expectations. You approach everything with an eye on student outcomes, and that is something that we have all learned from and hopefully will continue to do moving forward. You have brought a dignity and a faithfulness and decorum to this body, and I will miss you as a colleague, but I will certainly continue to cherish you as a friend. Mr. Ashley, I had the pleasure of knowing you before either of us were board members, and from the moment I met you, have always appreciated your focus on equity and justice in everything that you do. There's a long list of accomplishments that you have in your 8 years. You helped to bring Travis Hill School here. That is something that this district and so many students will continue to benefit from for years and years and years. And it speaks to your commitment to equity and justice and your focus on the most marginalized populations in our district. And it was very fitting that we highlighted them tonight for their growth. You also stood up at the end of your first term with the school facility renaming policy, passing that policy and standing up and saying, it is not right that the children of this district have to walk into a school every day that is named after somebody that would enslave them or that didn't believe that they had a right to go to school. And it was one of those things where at the time people thought, before it happened, people couldn't see and they thought, why does this matter? Why are you doing this? It's only going to bring controversy. And then as soon as it was complete, the questions immediately became, why didn't we do this 20 years ago? Why did we ever let this happen? And that vision and that focus on what is right pushed this district to a better place. President Bodwin has also talked about your leadership through crisis. Through much of your 2 terms as board president were behind a mask, were 6 feet apart, were on a Zoom screen. And so people didn't necessarily get to see your leadership or the benefits that it brought to this district and this city in a way that they would have otherwise. And even though there was that additional layer of difficulty in your leadership, we continued to shine. We were, an exemplar to urban districts across the country in our testing, in our purchase of devices earlier than everybody else, in our return to school, that we are continuing to see the benefits today. We have left COVID in the rearview mirror for years, in large part because of your leadership. Personally, you've done so much to develop my leadership. As your successor as board president, and as President Bodwin mentioned, it is very fitting that tonight we are passing a policy that will continue to improve the quality of this board after you leave. You are leaving this board in a much better place than you found it, and we will continue to progress, in part because of this policy that we're passing tonight. And I continue to be, even though your service on this board is ending tonight, I am thrilled to see the impact that you are going to have and the focus on equity and justice that you are going to bring to school districts all over the country, and watch you raise that beautiful boy. Thank you.
Any other? Oh, sorry, Mr. Zervigon.
Yeah, just maybe some things that haven't been mentioned. It's so funny because I think I was still board chair at Audubon Charter School when Ethan got elected, when you were, 26? And we're like, what are we going to do with this young man? But you reminded me so much of so many students I taught in the years that I was a social studies teacher at Ben Franklin High School. And the students come in, many of them so enormously capable, so enormously advanced in their academic abilities, in their analytical abilities, and in their drive, their work ethic, their desire to be prepared. And you exemplified all those things. And then I found out your academic background. I said, yeah, okay, I recognize this. And I always would be with my students, wanting them to use their power for good. You're just going to go out there and try to make money, be some fat cat attorney, whatever, or are you going to use your powers for good? And I recognize that you're someone who very, very aggressively decided to use your powers for good, to come to New Orleans, to join us in our rebuilding, and to do everything you could to make a substantial positive effort for the children based on what you experienced as a student, what you saw in the community, what you saw we needed. And I've always been super, super impressed. And in that way, also serving with you, sometimes there are things that are coming down the pike, and I swear you saw it first. You saw it first, and you maybe talk to us and say, look, we got to figure this out, and you decide, okay, I'm going to figure this out with everybody. You listen. You don't talk, you listen. And you look at what is the way forward in a constructive way for us as colleagues to solve a problem. And without you doing that, we wouldn't be as well off as a governing board. So someone else is going to have to do that now, all right? Because you're not going to be here. Someone else is going to have to do that. But I so very much appreciate that and serving with you. And we're going to miss you on this board. And with Dr. Batiste, my seatmate here for this last year, as it's been said, so I don't need to belabor the point, being a former superintendent especially, there are times when we've been doing our work with our superintendent where you can just come right to it and say, look, this is the thing, and just bring total clarity right away. And again, without you with us, that's going to be something we don't have now. And I think we're going to have to be really cognizant of that, to do the right thing in the right way. We'll maybe just call you up every now and then to ask you, what would you do? What's your input? I think we're going to need that. And then also, look, I'm not the only one up here looking out for English language learners and thinking about what the students go through. And I've also enjoyed our work together to watch out for certain students who need to be not forgotten, and I really appreciate that as well. We're going to miss y'all. It's been great serving with you.
Yes.
Mr. Marshall?
This reminds me of the more things change, the more they stay the same. In Ethan Ashley's instance, I met him when he was with an organization. I can't remember the name of it, but you were unapologetically black, right? And you will always be that way. You move from this board to just another thing. You've been involved in so many things. And the bottom line is you work for common good. You work for the best interest of all people. And I commend you for that, and I know that will not change. Dr. Batiste I met as a principal, an educator, an educator, an educator. From every level of education to retirement, to back in schools teaching, to serving on another board, some things never change, and I hope they never will. Thank you all.
Okay, I'm going to bring it
Bring it
to a
home.
close. All of these roses that's been thrown and compliments that's been given tonight, well-deserved, I must say. I met Ethan Ashley when he was about 25. He was considering running for the board, and he asked to meet with me, and we met at a restaurant, and we had lunch. I ate a little bit more than you did. But he talked about his goals and what he wanted to attain. And a lot of it was based around helping young black men. And we needed that at that time. We still need it today. But he accomplished his goal because he did put in place some of the things that were spoken about tonight, and especially with the Travis Hill School. But we've sat next to each other for the last couple of years. He was all grown up now, and he had a baby. And we didn't always agree on everything. We butt heads a little bit, but I can say it's been an honor and a pleasure to sit next to you and to learn, because I came in as an educator, but I had never served on a school board. And I can tell you one thing, I'll tell these new members, it's a lot to learn in a very short period of time. But he did help me with that, along with my other colleagues on board. So thank you, Ethan, for being my sidekick, my lefty, on my left. Now, Dr. Batiste, this is difficult for me. because I have known him for so long. Oh my God, he's my brother. He's my ride or die. Anything I ever need, I can pick up the phone and call him, and he's got it done before I can even ask for it. So I'm gonna hate and miss you so much because you are so good at what you do. He's calm in a storm, and I'm wild in a storm. And he has told me, settle down. But he has brought so much to this board because even though everyone had been here before, they had never served in all of the seats and hats he wore and served in. So he brought that knowledge to us, and with that, I'm forever grateful. I expect that you will continue to help me grow and stay calm because that's not an attribute of mine. But I get to say what I want to say and how I want to say it, and he applauded me for being able to do that. So I'm going to miss your brother, but you won't be too far because I'm sure you'll keep an eye on us and keep us straight. And I love each of you, and we will miss each of you. But Ethan made a decision that he was not going to run, and Donaldo, the constituents, made the decision. And with that, we will move forward and welcome the 2 new board members, and we will continue to progress for the children of this city, for the families of this city, and we will do our best. So I want to say thank you again. Kudos to both of you.
Thank you, Vice President Eames. I'll hand it over to Dr. Fulmore.
On behalf of the administration, we would also like to express our thanks and gratitude first to you, Dr. Batiste. You've represented and served District 4 so admirably. Your 47 years in education, from being a classroom teacher to a distinguished superintendent, have been a great asset to the board. You've personally been an asset to me and have poured into me tremendously since you've been on the board. Your leadership in helping transform the educational landscape here, both in New Orleans and in Illinois, have set a high standard for educational excellence, and I appreciate you always holding us to a high standard for how we serve children. We're just very fortunate to have had you, and we thank you for your ongoing dedication and visionary leadership to our students, to our staff, and to our community. And to you, Mr. Ashley, on behalf of the administration, I want to express our deep gratitude for you. Your commitment from Compton to New Orleans has been transformative. Your legal background, your work ethic, your service to youth justice, and your leadership in education have enriched our community tremendously. I want to personally thank you for the push you give me and how you challenge me to just keep thinking at higher levels. And many have said it, like, you see it so far in advance, and I always appreciate the push that you give to make sure we're being forward thinking and that we stay on our toes for our children. You've been a pivotal figure in pushing for educational equity and have inspired countless individuals. If you just ever follow Mr. Ashley and his work, he is just impacting so many across the country and touching people everywhere he goes in his work. And so as you move forward, thank you for your wisdom, vision, and passion you brought to us. Your legacy will guide us as we continue to serve our students and community. Thank you, Ethan.
Dr. Batiste, do you want to make remarks? Okay, good. Dr. Batiste.
To our esteemed President Beaudoin, Vice President Eames, fellow colleagues as members of the Board of Education, our esteemed interim superintendent, Dr. Fatima Williams. Oh, Lord, excuse me. Fatima Fulmore. I just want to say to the staff members who are here present and to the community and to the families who are in the listening area. Muhammad Ali once said that service to others is the rent that we pay for the room in which we live. I'm here today because of service. I'm here because you allowed me to rent this space. But more importantly than that, you allowed me the opportunity to do that which I know is doable and something that I know that the families of New Orleans have long awaited. And that is to bring a level of support to them where their voices were being heard in diversifying the portfolio of school offerings here in New Orleans. As quiet as it may be kept through the voting processes, we owe it to our families. And I'm challenging the new members who will replace us on this board that there is a lot of work to be done. I'm honored that I was able to step in for the short time that I was here and to show for the nearly 20 years that it has existed that this board is in fact in charge of the operations that happen here, even though we had few schools or no schools under our auspices when I came onto the board. We have begun something that needs to gain momentum. These were challenging times. We have to separate our personal beliefs and our professional beliefs, particularly as they align with places in laws that eclipse the rights of children. Education is a civil right that is due all of our children. And until we recognize that children and families, some of them who cannot, we have to advocate for them because they're not able to do that. They look to us to do that. As I look at board meetings here and see the families that come to us and lash out at us, their lashings are misplaced. We're not the board that governs the schools where they're experiencing the problem. And there's a disconnect between the electorate and those schools. So until we're able to convince our publics that that's what we have to do and do better, I'm challenging each of you. Even though I won't be on the board, but I will continue my advocacy for public education through the work that I do, both at the university and in the community level. And we will be holding you responsible because you have a commitment. The people of this area, New Orleans, the people have spoken, and they have named the persons whom they wish to serve on this board. I'm just asking you to delve deeper and to make certain that the children are at the centerpiece of all that you do, because without it, we can leave no legacy for a future that's left behind. So I thank you, board members, for embracing me and supporting me and putting up with me from time to time. But it's been my pleasure, and I know that a difference is being made, and there's yet more to come. Thank you, and God bless each of you.
Thank you, Dr. Batiste. I'm going to hand it over to you now, Mr. Ashley.
There's not many people who I don't want to follow, but my dear friend and my dear brother, I want to say thank you. There is a lot to say about how you show up in the world. And the one word that comes to my heart has been courage. There's a courageousness about your being and how you show up for others. And so I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, my friend. Yeah. Man. 8 years. It has been nothing but a joy to be able to serve here and serve with you all. 13 colleagues in 8 years I have had the opportunity to serve with. I've had so many different seatmates. I will acknowledge you all are my favorite.
Yes.
We were the prettiest.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt. I'll tell Ben that later. I have a routine. If you all don't know this, when I walk into a board meeting, I come in through that door, and there's one place that I start every meeting, and it is with our comms team, because a lot of people don't know them. They're behind the scene, and not until they take a picture for us or do a video of us do you get to see them or hear about them. And so, I just want to say for the last 8 years, you all have made sure my mics were working right. And when I didn't need them to work, you cut them. That was great. And so DJ and team, I just want to say thank y'all. It's been a pleasure working with you all. The comms team has done a lot of work. I'm a lawyer by trade, and so the next place I want to just acknowledge is I have served with phenomenal attorneys. Kathy Moss. Man. Thank you. Thank you. There's many times where we could have all gotten in trouble, but for a Kathy Moss stare, look, text message that was cryptic, but we all understood what it meant. Getting called into the classroom. She is one of the best educators that never educated, but educates us consistently in the legal jurisprudence. And I'm just so proud to have served with you. I won't talk about, I go too deeply into my time with others in our office, because there's just so much that they have done for me. Sharonda, and then I didn't know how we were going to top Sharonda. For those of us who served with Sharonda, she literally could do any and everything, and then we found someone who literally does it all in Ashley. Thank you, my friend, for keeping this board together and keeping us on track here. I can't not acknowledge the superintendents I had the opportunity to serve with over 8 years, from Dr. Lewis to Dr. Williams to now Dr. Fulmore. I mean, you all have done a phenomenal job of leading a system that is the most unique in the country. There is no blueprint for this. In fact, the state doesn't even really train us, because we're just that unique. And I just want to acknowledge that you all have done an excellent job, and you will continue to do an excellent job. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that where you go. There's a lot to say about Dr. Lewis, and so I'll just say I love him and leave it there. There's so many folks who are not here in the audience who have sent messages and all the things. I just want to say thank them. I'm thinking about the Danas, the Kates, the Carolines, all the folks who are really important to the system, and reminds us and keeps us sort of honest about what that means. There are a row of people back here that you all rarely get to see. I really enjoy this row back here. I'm glad when we created this new boardroom that this row exists back here. And this row didn't always look like this. But looking at this row, you all are just phenomenal. I have led through COVID with some of you all. I have led in moments where I just didn't think we would be able to get it done in the amount. I think about the most recent, y'all remember Ida? It was crazy. Y'all were running around crazy in Ida. And I I think about that. I think about how well y'all band together for Leah Chase. Y'all are who I talk about secretly, but not so secretly, to my partner in life, who I'm going to talk about next. I talk about you all consistently, how proud I am of you all. I see some of you all in airports, which is always fun. But I just want to acknowledge that I'm just so grateful for each of you all. And I couldn't be the board president that I am or was and leader on this board without you all. This district does not run without you all. I need you all to hear that. Love our superintendent. This district does not run without you all. Thank you for holding the line. Kids won't know how much you all have held the line. Thank you. I want to just now turn to the six I'm serving with now. Nolan, I never expected you to have the most pithiest response this afternoon. How quick was that? It was a record. I needed it. It was great. But you have been the greatest surprise of my life. You pushed me in so many ways. I think I remind you of your son in some respects in terms of our age, us being in similar age groups. And I love your son. I have an affinity for Nolan. And so the way you have sort of groomed me to be a better leader, it's very true. He's also groomed me to be a better eater. If you all don't know this, this is very personal, but Nolan was the first person to be very clear about dieting and how I choose to eat. And he got me a little bit better in how I move in the world around food. So thank you, my friend. Most people don't know that, but you are. You're really good about that. Carlos, we ran together twice. There's something special about that will certainly bond us, I think, for life. And the way in which your family has opened up its arms, not just around me, but around my whole family. I love your family. I'm very grateful for your family. Very grateful for you. Oh, man. Olin. It is so hard to it's so hard not to think about how much I've asked of you personally. It is so difficult to run a district as a leader of the district when in moments there is not just catastrophes happening, but personal stuff happening and all the things. The amount of times you have stepped in for me when things were going crazy in my personal life and no one knows about it and you don't say anything about it. I want to say thank you for that. You've kept me married. Thank you. The leadership that you exhibited as board president was phenomenal. And your ability to hold the line on equity yourself is commendable. I think you make not just your family proud, but certainly your grandfather. Ms. Eames has already talked about how we met. She didn't talk about how she didn't support me in that race. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. We are still best friends here, and everything is quite all right now. No, don't do that. Let me stop. I'm going to be partially truthful here. Katie, I think you and I have done probably some of the most growing in our relationship with one another.
100%. You also didn't support me the first time.
I didn't. Not only did I not support you, one of our first conversations, you yelled at me. It was, and I was like, I think I'm a grown-up. I don't know what's happening here. But now I just can't not see you as a sister. Like, when this is all said and done, I just want you to know, like, that is what you are to me. And that's how you've served. You served very well. I'm going to close this out by just telling you all that you all are ready. You all are ready. You're going to lead this district and continue to lead this district very well. You're ready. And to my wife, my children, Jace, Sage, crew, thank you. I'm sorry. I gave this district so much. You all saw it. You experienced it. And I'm very grateful for you all. And I just can't wait to get to 2040 when this one's in college. Let's go, team. 2040, here we come. Don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. It's going to be here sooner than we think. Thank y'all. I know that there's many of folks who have done a lot. I think about Jonathan Temple in procurement, who's increased our DBE participation, and there's just so many phenomenal people in our district. Isaac, there's just so many folks. Thank y'all. I really do appreciate it. I will end here. There is a deep belief in my mind that if we are able to, I think, do what you all are endeavoring to do in terms of banding together to improve this system, that kids will be better for it. And this district right now has never seen this type of outcomes. And if we are able to stay tight, aligned, and focused, I think we can become the first urban district in the country to educate all of our young people well. And I think you all are ready to do that. And so, thank y'all.
Oh, I love the Love Fest. It's wonderful. We're going to just take a few pictures, and then we'll come back and finish the people's business. Thanks. Yes. I'm scared to break it.
legitimate.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Wait, you hold this while I read it. Okay. In grateful recognition presented to Ethan Ashley, Orleans Parish School Board District 2, 2017 to 2024, and former board president. Your visionary leadership, dedication to advancing equity, and steadfast service have made a profound impact on the students and families of NOLA Public Schools. Your work has paved the way for a brighter future for public education in Orleans Parish. Thank you for your service. You got it. Thank you. All right, that's enough being nice to each other. Let's get back down to it. Are you done with your, Dr. Fillmore has one quick more thing in her agenda, and then we will move on.
All right, just want to close out by saying happy holidays and a happy new year. As we approach the holiday season, I wish each of you a joyful, happy holidays and a prosperous new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on to the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. That amendment would be to delete item 6.1, 6, the executive session. So I move that we delete that from this agenda.
I will second that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's been moved and moved by myself, seconded by Mr. Zervigon. Any all in favor? Excuse me. Any opposed? Okay, the agenda has been amended. Thank you. Perfect. I will now turn over to Board Counsel for the consent agenda.
Okay. Moving now to consent agenda item 4.1 and 4.3 through 4.28, it is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board move to approve consent agenda items 4.1 and 4.3 through 4.28 as presented in Globo. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice President Eames and seconded by President Bodwin. There's no public comment. There appears to be no board comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the consent agenda has been approved. Moving now to our action items. Action item 5.1, Charter RFA recommendations. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board approve the superintendent's recommendation concerning the following charter applicant. 1, Hope Community School. Denial recommended. May I have a motion to approve action item 5.1?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Vice President Eames and seconded by President Bodwin. There's no public comment on this action item. There appears to be no board comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, action item 5.1 has been approved. Moving now to action item 5.2, request to approve the second amendment to contract with Circular Consulting LLC for professional municipal governmental relations services. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board approve the second amendment to the contract with Circular Consulting LLC for professional municipal governmental services in the amount not to exceed $55,000 for 1 year, and authorize the general counsel to prepare a contract for the board president and the contractor. May I have a motion to approve action item 5.2?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Parker and seconded by Mr. Ashley. There is no public comment on this action item. Is there any board comment? Okay. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, action item 5.2 has been approved. Moving now to action item 5.3. Resolution 16-24, restricting access to flavored nicotine products. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt Resolution 16-24, restricting access to flavored nicotine products. May I have a motion to adopt action item 5.3?
So moved. Second.
The reading?
Yeah.
It's been moved by Mr. Parker, who's waived the reading of the resolution. I think I heard that. And seconded by Mr. Ashley. There is no public comment on this action item. Is there any board comment? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Boatwin?
Yes.
Ms. Eames?
Yes.
Mr. Ashley?
Yes.
Dr. Batiste?
Yes.
Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Zervigon?
Yes.
The motion carries.
It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board moving now to action item 5.4. Resolution 17-24 regarding amended and restated attorney fee agreement with Aaron and Gianna PLC. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt resolution number 17-24 authorizing its general counsel to seek Louisiana Attorney General approval to enter a hybrid fee agreement with the law firm Aaron and Gianna PLC relative to the matter entitled Orleans Parish School Board versus the City of New Orleans et al., Civil District Court, case number 2019-5174, and approve the attached amended and restated attorney fee agreement. May I have a motion to adopt resolution 17-24 and approve the attached amended and restated attorney fee agreement?
So moved, waiving the reading.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Parker, and seconded by Vice President Eames. There's no public comment on this action item. Is there any board comment? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bowen,
Yes.
Ms. Eames,
Yes.
Mr. Ashley, Dr. Batiste,
Yes.
Mr. Marshall,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Zervagon. The motion carries.
Moving now to resolution, action item 5.5, resolution 18-24 regarding special counsel Aaron and Gianna PLC. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt resolution 18-24 authorizing its continued appointment of Aaron and Gianna PLC as special counsel. May I have a motion to adopt action item 5.5?
So moved.
Second, waiving the reading.
It's been moved by Vice President Eames, seconded by Mr. Parker. There's no public comment. There appears to be no board comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bowen? Yes. Ms. Eames?
Yes.
Mr. Ashley?
Yes.
Dr. Batiste? Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Zervagon?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Moving now to action item 5.6, resolution 19-24 regarding special counsel Fishman and Haygood LLP. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt resolution 19-24 authorizing its continued appointment of Fishman Haygood LLP as special counsel. May I have a motion to adopt action item 5.6?
So move waiving the reading of the resolution.
It's been moved by Mr. Zervagon and seconded by President Bodwin. There's no public comment. Is there any board comment?
Yes.
Mr. Marshall?
In the written document that may have been gone out to in the recommended action, it states 1824 in lieu of 1924.
The resolution for action item 5.6,
At least that's in my notes.
okay,
It's 19, resolution 19-24 in the subject, but in the recommended action, it's written as 18-24.
okay. What I read,
That is corrected. That's all.
I think was, just to be clear for the record, so the recommended action for action item 5.6 that I read was resolution number 19-24. Okay, so there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have an action item, please? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bowen?
Yes.
Ms. Eames?
Yes.
Mr. Ashley? Dr. Batiste? Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Zervagon?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Marshall, I see what you're talking about in the printed agenda. I will be clear to read the correct resolution number when I state for the record orally what the recommended action is. So moving now to action item 5.7, which is resolution 20-24 regarding special counsel Hammond, Sills, Atkins, Geis, Noah, and Perkins, LLP. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board adopt Resolution 20-24, authorizing its continued appointment of Hammond, Sills, Atkins, Geis, Noah, and Perkins, LLP. May I have a motion to adopt action item 5.7?
So move, waiving the reading.
It's been moved by Mr. Parker and seconded by President Bodwin. There's no public comment on this action item. Is there any board comment? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Bowen? Yes. Ms. Eames? Mr. Ashley?
Yes.
Dr. Batiste? Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Zervagon? Yes. The motion carries.
Okay, moving now to action item 5.8. closing school priority for Noble Minds Institute for the Whole Child Learning and International High School of New Orleans. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board waive the closing school priority language set forth in policy HE that only includes grades K through 11 students without a guarantee due to a closure of an OPSB charter or direct run school, to allow applicants that reside in Orleans Parish at Noble Minds Institute of the Whole Child Learning and International High School of New Orleans to receive closing school priority in main round selections for 2025-2026 school year. The administration is seeking to have the restriction of closing school priority only being applicable to OPSB charter or direct run schools as outlined in Orleans Parish School Board Policy HE. Noble Minds and International High School are both Type 2 BESI approved charters that operate in Orleans Parish. The majority of their students are Orleans Parish residents. The priority shall not apply for admission to kindergarten and ninth grade. May I have a motion to adopt action item 5.8?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Zervigon and seconded by Mr. Ashley. There is no public comment on this action item. All those in favor?
Excuse me, Board Counsel, I do have.
I apologize, Mr. Parker.
I'm glad that we're taking this up tonight. It's the right thing to do for these students. They're Orleans Parish public school students, and we hope that very soon they will be New Orleans public school students. Dr. Fulmore, I would just ask that, and I think you're probably already doing this, but that you instruct the enrollment team and the student support team to be in those schools and provide them the same sort of white glove service for enrollment that we historically have provided to our own closing schools, just to make sure that those families feel welcomed and feel like they have all the information that they need in order to make informed decisions.
Okay. Is there any further board comment? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, action item 5.8 has been approved. We're now going to go back to action item 4.2, which was previously on the consent agenda. Amendment to OPSB policy BBBB, new member orientation. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board approve the proposed amendment to OPSB policy BBBB, new member orientation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Ashley and seconded by President Bodwin. There's no public comment on this action item. Board comment from Mr. Zervigon.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add on key components of the onboarding plan in Section A, training on core responsibilities after Robert's Rules of Order, comma, Louisiana Open Meetings Law, comma, colon, Louisiana Public Records Law, colon, and then continue.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend it as such.
Second.
Yeah, if I'm doing that right.
So there's been a motion and a second. There's no public comment on the amendment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the amendment has been approved. Now, I believe Dr. Batiste has an edit as well. Dr. Batiste, I have yours written here, but would you like to read it?
Certainly, it's under key components of the board onboarding plan. It's under B, and it's under number 1, governance retreat. And it's a editorial thing, board goals and the strategic priorities of the district versus the district's strategic priorities, because inanimates don't show possession.
Always the educator. There was one other just typographical edit in the very last paragraph, second to last sentence, areas of interest. Should be a plural there. So, Dr. Batiste, is that inclusive in your motion?
Heard with that one when I saw it.
Okay. So, Dr. Batiste has made a second amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
And second by Mr. Ashley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the second amendment has been approved, and now we will go back to the motion as amended. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, action item 4.2 has been approved with the 2 amendments. And there are no further action items on the agenda. I will turn it back over to our board president.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, so moved.
Seconded by Dr. Batiste. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the time is now 7:09. This meeting is adjourned.